Let's take a closer look at the Bombers right now. He is the Yankees beat writer with NJ.com, and our friend Brendan Kuty joins us once again. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too, Steve. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's the beginning of a new era here. A-Rod, I mean, that is the whole story. For the past 12 seasons, Alex Rodriguez has been in that clubhouse, minus one season for some strange reason. But was there a discernible difference in the clubhouse today without A-Rod?
I'm not sure if it was discernible for us, the media, or necessarily for the players. You know, Alex was looked up to by the young Latin players on the club. Starling Castro, D. Gregorius. He would take them aside, talk
He was
to
like
them.
their mentor, more or less, wasn't he?
He was, and that will be missed. If there's anything you can say about Alex, whether you like him or whether you don't like him, he really was a teacher. He really was someone who reached out to young kids, young players, and mentored them. That will be missed. Whether he was missed in the clubhouse from a leadership perspective, that's hard to say. You really couldn't find him after a lot of games this season, particularly when he struggled. You know, we will see that coming forward.
But that cloud of where is A-Rod going to fit into the lineup, where is he going to be batting, those whole storylines that would always permeate throughout the clubhouse weren't there today. And that kind of had to probably make things feel a little different.
Right. Yeah, there were no questions of whether Alex was going to play, whether Alex was going to perform, whether Alex was really going to no longer be with the team beyond a certain date. Those things were lifted off the team. Those things were no longer a concern. And the players, the young guys in particular, went out and played. And I don't think that was, you know, a mistake by Cashman and by the rest of the team. I think the idea was to get those young guys up here to take away the distraction that was losing Alex.
I think the timing of it is somewhat a little bit curious because A-Rod was shown the door the night before the '96 celebration. He didn't get a chance to see Derek Jeter or Joe Torre once again. Are we making too much of this, or is there some relevance to him being gone just before the celebration?
Yes, I think we are making, honestly, way too much of this. I think that Alex, over the past year and a half, 2 years, has shown that he can behave. Though sometimes he makes himself the story without meaning to make himself the story, I don't think he needs to avoid being around Derek Jeter, being around Joe Torre. If he wants to make himself scarce, he does it whenever he wants. He does it to us reporters.
But Derek Jeter wasn't there for Alex Rodriguez's goodbye. It's not like they were the best of friends. He's a class guy. We know how classy Derek Jeter is. He released a statement about A-Rod. But again, should we be reading between the lines when we didn't see number 2 at that celebration?
Just because you don't reach out to someone doesn't mean you necessarily hate them. And when it comes to Alex and Derek, they had their ups and downs. They're by no means best friends anymore. But the last few years of Derek's career, before Alex was suspended in 2014 for using performance-enhancing drugs, you would see them on the field joking. You'd see them on the field laughing. You'd see them on the field celebrating. That carried into the clubhouse. They can coexist. The Yankees didn't need to get Alex out before Derek got in.
What's amazing is, well, I spent a few hours out in the city streets yesterday, and I could not believe how many people felt sympathetic towards Alex Rodriguez. They were sad to see A-Rod go. I mean, in fact, this week, Joe Girardi said, "I'm not running some sort of a farewell tour out here." In a way, did the Yankees actually make A-Rod a more sympathetic figure in the past few weeks?
Unbelievably, they did. Well, on the one end, when you're a Yankees fan, you're going to cheer for your players. So A-Rod had that going for him. But the way the Yankees, and it looked like the way Joe Girardi handled making up his lineup every day, handled the questions about how he made up his lineup every day, not putting Alex in the lineup every day during his farewell tour, whether Joe wanted to call it a farewell tour or not, that made the Yankees not look so good, but I don't think that was on Joe. And when Joe broke down yesterday during his press conference, crying about how he's going to miss Alex and how tough this has been for him, I think it showed. I think he wanted Alex in the lineup.
So that was the honest Joe Girardi, is what we saw when the tears were flowing.
I think so, unless he got something in his eye.
Okay, right. Well, and I think that was the real next question here. I mean, A-Rod asked Joe Girardi if he could play third base, and Girardi basically said no. When we saw those tears, I wonder if maybe the realization of the missed opportunities that he gave Alex Rodriguez in the final week may have set in. Did you sense any remorse from Girardi there?
I think he was a guy who was forced into a situation by the higher-ups in the Yankees who didn't want to see Alex potentially mess up any kind of playoff push the team could make. Now,
and
Joe,
also, don't forget about the bad blood, of course, between the front office and Alex Rodriguez.
Of course. Now, Joe told Alex that he couldn't play third base when he went to him on Tuesday in Boston. In reality, Joe was already scheming of a way to get Alex to third base for Friday's final game. He went to Chase Headley. He said, listen, I have a few ideas of what I want to do. And this is before Alex asked. Chase said he'd be fine with it. So when Joe told Alex no, he was more playing it safe.
He was protecting himself against the inevitability.
Protecting himself, protecting Alex too, because if he tells Alex yes, then hope
now he's married to it.
Yes, just like he was married to Alex playing in the lineup every day when the press conference happened on Sunday.
But let's be honest, what Joe has done, I mean, after the fire sale, he still has the Yankees in a position right now to possibly win the wild card spot.
He does. Now, part of that is because the Yankees have played well the last 2 days. They've gotten some good pitching. They've gotten some timely hitting. They got 5 home runs today. That helps. They've also seen the Baltimore Orioles slip. They've seen the Blue Jays not perform up to the expectations everyone had for them in the preseason. They've seen the Red Sox fall off. They've seen David Price look like a shell of himself. Chris Archer look like a shell of himself. And the Yankees have played up a little bit. Can they continue that? Will this infusion of youth and talent carry them toward a playoff push? It could. I would think not, because of the past performance of the other regulars in their lineup.
Well, right now they are at their high water mark. They are 4 games over 500, and
that's amazing. They started the year 4-2. They're 2 games over 500,
and they're within 3 spots of that wild card. And the Boston Red Sox, when you look at what they have in front of them, 30 of their final 49 games are road games, and Boston's not playing so good right now. So, how wide is that crack that's open right now for the Yankees to step through?
It'd be wide open if the Yankees didn't have the track record they had put themselves, that established for themselves early in the season. I don't really think it's that wide. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I don't have a whole lot of faith in the regulars on this team who've been playing all year, who've underperformed, the Mark Teixeiras, the Starlin Castros to an extent, the Brett Gardner who's banged up. Of course, these guys can turn it on any second.
Right.
But I think these guys are playing up right now. It's a lot to ask them to play to this level when they haven't all year over the last quarter of the season.
Okay, now, real quick, a quick glimpse into next year. In this offseason, at least, they've done a lot of purging of salaries. We're at the very tail end of some bad contracts, if you will. Are the Yankees going to be standing pat right now with the future in their hands, with the young players they have, or do you expect them to maybe go out and get a big-name free agent?
I think if they aim for a big-name free agent, it's in the bullpen. Would you be shocked if Aroldis Chapman were back with the Yankees on a multi-year deal?
He said he wanted to be back.
He wants to be back. The Yankees like a guy who can throw 103 miles an hour in the back of their bullpen. But there are also other high-priced, really good relievers, closers who are on the market for next year. But when it comes to position players, they're pretty locked in most spots.
You can read his stories on NJ.com. Yankees beat writer Brendan Kuty, thanks for coming in and joining us.
Steve, thank you. Yeah,
Appreciate the insights. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.